Well, hello. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about an article I read on the Amtrak fans Facebook page today, and talking about Amtrak might combine the Capital Limited train from that runs Washington D.C. to Chicago with the Silver Star, which is traditionally, it goes a little bit further than New York, but I call it the New York to Miami train. It goes along the I-95 corridor, and it's very popular. And most people, I think, take it from New York down to Florida, and in particular Miami, but other points in Florida. I took it to Orlando one time. So, this is what I heard. I will have the article based on this in the description box. But generally speaking, and this will be my take on it too, my analysis and what I think. Generally speaking, Amtrak is thinking about, and again, this is just thinking and might, and that they are the operative words here, starting November 1st, 2024, combine the Capital Limited with the Silver Star, which would mean that that the Silver Star would go to Chicago instead of New York City. Now, that's the gist of it. Here are some pros and here are some cons and what I think about it. The pros would be mainly for the Capital Limited, in my opinion. It would be, they would have more bedrooms, more roomettes. I have ridden, and I'm speaking as someone who has ridden both trains several times. And I will say that the Capital Limited, and I don't mind this channel is unfiltered, and I give my honest opinions. Capital Limited is probably one of my least favorite trains. Probably is my least favorite train, actually, for the reason that when I have had to go to Chicago several times to catch trains out west, the long distance trains, it's an overnight train. So people tend to talk, they listen and watch movies without the headphones on, people walking up and down, it's a noisy, it tends to be, to me, was a noisy train. And it seemed to me to be more of like a commuter kind of train than a train for people who are really traveling. So when I'm on my way out west, and when I did travel and take a 2-week trip, that was one of my first legs, going from North Carolina to Washington, D.C., and then getting on the Capital Limited to Chicago overnight. I did not sleep. So that would provide, that having been said, I think if the Silver Star turned into the Capital Limited, they combine them, they would have food on the Capital Limited. Well, it wouldn't be Capital Limited. We don't know. What would they call it? The Capital Star? But it would basically be the changing the route of the Silver Star to go. So they would have more options for bedrooms and roomettes, and they would have more a dining car option, which I think would be great for that train particularly. And so there are pros. Another pro would be if you're going out west and you have to take a train to Chicago, and people who do a lot of traveling on Amtrak know that most of the trains that are longer, the long distance trains, do originate in Chicago. So a lot of people fly to Chicago. So this way you wouldn't have it would take longer to get there, but it would be like a direct route. Right now when you go, and I've done this several times, I have not traveled in like 4 years, but I plan to this winter, but all the times that I have taken the train to Chicago, you get off at Washington, D.C., and there was a several-hour delay. A lot of people do an overnight in D.C. I did one time. It's a long wait. Either way, when you're ready to go somewhere and you're looking forward to going somewhere, getting on the Chicago train and getting on your main train, because these are not your main trains, it's a long wait. Whether you wait 4 hours or whether you spend the night, it's a long wait. So this way you would not have to do that. You could just get on. And I'm talking about people from the south going north. Don't know how it would be. The other direction would be a little bit more difficult. I'll get into that in a minute. So it would be easier if you're coming south going to Chicago. You just stay on the train and go. So I like that part about it. So those parts are good. Now, and I would agree with having that to do that. The combination, I think more people would travel. It's easier to travel because you got to get to Chicago, and maybe they're competing a little bit with the airlines, because like I said, I think most people that I've heard about and know will fly into Chicago because it's faster. And there's not all the layovers, there's none of the changeovers, there's none of the figuring out your schedule. You just get on the train and go. Okay, the cons. Okay, main con, that it's going to miss 2 major cities in this proposal. One is Tampa. I had planned to go to Tampa at some point in time because I would like to see that a lot of people get on in Tampa. It's not just in New York City to Miami, even though a lot of people do that. Tampa is a big stop. So from what I'm understanding, they would cut out Tampa. So those people would have to get on the next biggest city. They can get on a lot of places in smaller towns. I think Orlando would be the next big city. So they would have to find a way to get to the train. And also, it would not go to New York City anymore. That, to me, is a big no. A lot of people along the I-95 corridor, south, and particularly, I know I'm from North Carolina. I've lived here all my life. I know a lot of people, we vacation in New York City, a lot, over the holidays. It's a good place to go shopping. It's a good place just to spend the weekend. A lot of people, I know people who go and just go to the theater. A lot of people fly, but now flying, they don't want to do it. It's too big of a hassle. You can get on a train. You can go in, get in, takes all day, but you get into Penn Station, go to New York and back. Now, if you are going to New York City, you'll have to get off in D.C. and take another train. And I don't know the ins and outs of that, which train it would be, how long you have to wait, if you have to spend the night in D.C., or how that's going to work. It's not a straight line, straight up. Also, if you're coming south, a lot of people in New York City, and particularly I'm thinking about the holidays, the trains are slam-packed full, the Silver Star's full, the Carolinian, which is, this is a side note, the Carolinian, this is partly a North Carolina train, does go from New York City to Charlotte, North Carolina, so if you're in that area, you can get on that train. But if you're going from, a lot of people have migrated from Miami to New York, vice versa, and in between, they get on that train, it's jam-packed full. I've been on it. Another con to doing this is that the Silver Star is historically late. So that would put a kink in, and I think the latest I have been on that train or seen that train has been 2 hours. I know over the holidays I was going on the Carolinian, but the Silver Star going north to New York on Thanksgiving, they got tied up in Florida. There was nothing wrong with anything, no breakdowns. They just had so many people boarding in Florida that it took them late. I think they were longer than 2 hours late, so I was glad I got on the Carolinian for that. So the Silver Star is historically late, which is going to put you late in getting into Chicago. So that is one good thing about the way it works right now with having a layover in D.C. is that you have time to be late. So you have to consider that. I don't know how that's going to interfere with your travel time into Chicago. Could be that you have a layover in Chicago, which now you do not. I think it's a couple of hours. I always do my trains as like a couple of hours. There's not that long of a layover. So yeah, so this is what's in the think tank, the Amtrak think tank right now. You can keep up if you're planning to travel this year. You might want to, in these directions, you might want to keep up with the Amtrak site and see what the routes are like. I heard on the thread about this on the Facebook page, people were talking about, yeah, the trains are already full, the bedrooms and roomettes. The trains are already full. They can't get a space after November 1st. Then some say they could, and the both trains actually. I'm going to attribute that to mainly to that being vacationers and the holidays. I knew that. I'm going in January up to DC. Plan to, I will say, depends on the weather and some other things, but and the climate of all kinds, temperature and political. But I have planned in January to go to DC. I bought my tickets already in January 2024 to go January 2025 because through experience I know those trains fill up fast around the holidays. So I'm not too worried about this being true because the trains are full already, because it is the holidays. Around that time you are going to find everything sold out easily. It's just a few months coming up. So I thought that I would put that out there today, just a short video, and let me know what you think. This is my analysis. I actually don't like the idea of it doing it. The only thing that would be convenient for me is no layover in DC and go straight to Chicago, provided I'm going out west. I don't really plan to go out west. I do want to take the Southwest Chief again. I want to go back to Arizona and have another vacation in Arizona and go that way. That would be easier for me. But in general, generally speaking, I personally don't like that change, but it's not up to me. So let me know what you think. Keep on with it. Keep on the lookout. If I find out any more information, I will let you know. And the link to the article will be in the description box of this video. So remember, if you like the video, like it, share it with people who may be interested. And if you're thinking about going during the holidays, after November 1st, either way, you might want to go ahead and book your tickets. Okay, until next time, everybody, I want you to stay safe and happy trails.